no story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, it goes the headlines, man. They all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged. You know they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, and close its way under your skin. Just got foul from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit. That good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Hey, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome Snow to the Grounds with Giles and Jones. I'm Giles, he's Jones.
And, here in Northern Illinois, listen, here in Northern Illinois, I'm going to name this. Let's name this storm. I'm going to name the storms when they're serious.
Let's name it Whitey.
Yeah. And the guy from the Weather Channel is in Chicago. So you know that it's bad when that guy shows up, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So let's name this snowstorm Jerry. This is Snowstorm Jerry 2024.
It's so nice to see, man. I woke up this morning about 5:30 and I looked out and I'm like, oh, yes.
There it is.
Finally. I mean, it's, it's wintertime. It's the Midwest. It's Chicago. I mean, it's snow, right? I mean, I love the snow. I don't know about you, but I love the snow.
Snow is beautiful.
Well, yeah.
All right. Hey, let's get this out there. Uncle Pete's going to share out the URL. I mean, you're stuck at home. You might as well jump and join in. Copy down this link, put it in your URL, join the show live, be part of this show, which is great. Another shout out to our friends over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center, www.mchenrymassage.com, 815-385-8190. You're going to be out shoveling some snow. You might get a little sore muscles. Visit them over at Natural Therapy Wellness Center. After you shovel out your driveway, run over to JH Events and Flowers and grab yourself a $5 bouquet. $5 Fridays at JH Events and Flowers. You might as well put some beauty into that window that you're looking at the snow globe at.
It's beautiful as it is. It don't need no flowers, but I mean, flowers are always a beautiful
dumb.
thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Hey, Don, hopefully it's snowing down there too, so you can enjoy it. Good morning. Good morning. So today we wanted to talk about don't focus on things you can't control. So Don says, weather report from DFW, that's Dallas Fort Worth area. High today and tomorrow, 49 and 56. Low tomorrow night, 16.
Holy cow, in Texas, 16.
Cool. Yeah, you better keep your...
People move to Texas for the warmth and the big trucks.
Keep that faucet dripping.
They ain't getting either one of those.
So you wanted to talk about, Scott, don't focus on things you can't control. Help me understand.
Well, it's nothing really to understand. When it comes to life, there are a few things that we actually literally have control over, right? I mean, ourselves is probably the only thing that we honestly have 100% control over. And for me, I fight back and forth with trying to control things that I can't control and have no control. And it frustrates me. And I don't think I'm alone out there. I try to control the outcomes of, certain projects, and there's just certain things that I can't control. And for whatever reason, I stress about the things that I really have no control over. And it causes me it hinders me because I'm spending mental energy that really doesn't need to be exerted on something until I finally look at it and go, why are you even worried about something like that? And I feel like I'm not alone in that respect.
So give me an example.
I'll
give our listeners an example.
Well, a lot of people this morning, we can't control the weather, right? Mm-hmm. It is what it is, right? Yeah. I know you love that statement, but it is what it is. It's Midwest. It's snow, right?
Okay.
People will get irritated and pissed off trying to get to work because it's snowing. You can't control that it's snowing. The only thing you can do is control how you react to that snow coming and causing you to either have to get up earlier, drive slower.
Are they mad because it's snowing, or are they mad because people are driving 2 miles an hour?
Yes. I mean, probably a little bit of both, right? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can't control the person in front of you if they're a good driver, bad driver. You can only control what you're doing, how you react, and how you let it affect your energy really for the day. Because I know for me, when let's just say I'm stressing about the idiots in front of me driving 2 miles an hour because now I'm going to be behind in my schedule, it's not doing me any good because I can't change it. Right. So for me to exert that energy it's
so you're really mad at yourself for not leaving early enough to give yourself time.
Possibly. I mean, depending on what the situation is. But I mean, like this morning, I left in plenty of time to get to the station. Right. But it was still, I could see all the people in their faces, in the cars. Yeah. And I'm just actually enjoying, I'm marveling. I love the snow. I'm one of the sick people out there. Right. I'm just loving it, just looking at the snow, and you can see all these people. Snowstorm. Right. It's a beautiful snowstorm. Right.
We needed it too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Boy.
But you see all these people in their car, right? And I don't live that far from the station.
Right.
So, and I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, what a perfect start to the day of what we're going to talk about today, right? Because all these people, yes, it's a pain in the ass, and yes, it takes you longer to get to work. And for people that don't like driving in the snow, it's more stressful.
Yeah.
But they can't control it, right? So being able to control our thought process, which, control your mind, control your life type of thing. But if they could just kind of chill out and relax and figure it, which I'm slowly but surely getting a better handle on, going, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Except piss myself.
So
I'm not going to harm anybody else.
Why? Why? I guess, you're Simon Sinek. Why? What's your why? Why shouldn't you focus on things you can't control?
Well,
if it's human nature.
I'm guessing it's human nature. I'm human, and it does happen to me a lot. But there's two different theories on control. One is a locus. It's like an interior control and an exterior control, and I can't remember exactly offhand. But for me, it's just I try to eliminate as many things out there, control as many variables as I can, and a lot of times, I get the fallacy that I can actually control what I'm doing, and I'm not, and I can't. And so when that happens to me, it causes me stress. It causes me lack of energy for the day, more so because I'm focusing on something that I can't make a difference on or change, instead of focusing on what I can make a difference on, like whatever, even adjusting my attitude or accepting that, it's snow. People are going to drive slow. I'm going to have to allow to change my schedule because of, in lack of better terms, other people's lack of skill driving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You think so?
Yeah.
Aren't there things that you worry about that, or that,
no, I don't know if I worry about it or even spend a lot of energy. In my job as a lender, there's a lot of things that are out of my control, which is infuriating and frustrating. But, let's say, I had a deal, a great young family. They loved this house, and the septic was bad. Now we get right up to a week before the closing, right? And now I'm seeing dollar signs because if I close this loan,
right, gonna get paid.
And then all of a sudden the septic's bad.
Right.
And the whole deal falls through a week before the closing.
Right.
And
frustrating.
We knew it was bad, but they wouldn't fix it. There was a lot of negotiations going on. I don't have control over that. Right. So in that situation, in my job as a lender, a mortgage lender, there are things out of my control that infuriate me because I don't get paid if that baby doesn't get closed. Right.
And that's hard.
So it's not that I focus on those things, but there are times in life where the things out of my control severely piss me off and frustrate me. And then me being me, I get upset for that nice young family who, they were, when we're going to paint it this way, in that whole home buying process, they walk through a dream and then it gets snapped out again, out of their control. And it's not that I focus on that, but it infuriates me because something that is way out of my control, out of their control, just
it hampers the whole deal.
Because we're like, hey, we're gonna have a good month, we got this one closing it, and all of a sudden issues out of your control happen. And so what I'm trying to do, Shayna, good morning, is focus on the reaction. Focus on the reaction to things that are out of my control.
Right. It's how you react to what's happening, right? And for me,
good morning, Shayna.
Good morning, Shayna. For me, like I was saying, it's how I react. I didn't always react the greatest. I was letting me focusing on things that I can't control drain my energies to the point to where it was just like I had to stop and think and go, okay, wait a minute, this is going to do you no good, because you literally have no control. Just like you, when you're doing a mortgage, you don't have control over what happens with the house. You just have control over what your portion of that whole process is, right? But I'm assuming you think and you, I don't want to say plan or worry about things that could come up. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, when the deal's going down, do you think, oh, wow, I wonder, make sure that they don't do this, don't do that? Because for me, I always, me, I'm always out over my skis. So I'm thinking things a little bit farther ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I like what Shayna says here, respond versus react. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Right? Exactly.
I'm from Iowa, so it's exactly.
Yeah, it says it right on your shirt with the lady.
Iowa. That's it. Caitlin Clark. My daughter made this. She designed this entire sweatshirt.
That's awesome.
That awesome? I don't know which way. There we go. See?
Can you see it?
Got a little Caitlin Clark over here.
Is that what that is? Yeah, the girl. Okay, that's awesome.
She's awesome. She's my daughter's hero right now. She's awesome.
But Shayna exactly hits it. Respond versus react.
Well, right. And you use the word react. I use the word respond. Just so I'm right and you're wrong.
Right. Well, right. But, and that's the thing. I mean, it's both really how you react and how you respond, but it's what the tone of that is.
Yeah. And I'm, to play off that, I think you go through both, right? Because when it happens, you react, right? It's just your instinct. You react. You're like, fuck, right? You react.
Yeah.
And then you kind of deep breath, step back, perhaps sometimes. I mean, because there's been times things go wrong where I react by pushing my hand through drywall, punching the wall.
You're one of those guys.
Not anymore.
Not anymore, but back in the day.
You react, right? And then you're like, oh, no, I got to respond by fixing the hole in the wall. And you know what I mean?
Right.
So
I think consequences.
I think you kind of go through both. But yeah, that's interesting. How many times has the frustration proved to be a fortunate diversion?
That's a good question.
7?
Yeah, 7. That's our new number at the house too. Every time it's 7.
Right.
7.
7.
It's inside joke, guys. We'll explain it to you next week. But you know what? How has the frustration proved to be a fortunate diversion? I mean, if you're frustrated over, I don't know, let's just say your septic system going bad, right?
Well,
does it make you look at another deal coming up? Then
but
pose a question.
Sometimes, like punching, when I get mad, I punched a wall or a door or something like that. It does take you out of the moment because now you're like, oh shit, I gotta fix this. What am I doing? Right?
Well, yeah, definitely. It'll definitely push you back into place.
Sometimes is a good diversion to help you react a little bit. Let's see. I'm inverted paranoid. And good morning, Eric. Glad to have you with us.
Good morning.
I believe the universe is conspiring to do only good things to me.
Oh, gee, lucky you, right? I mean, that's a good way to look at it.
Hey, and the energy in so far this month, the energy is awesome. I agree, Eric. I'm kind of the same way, and good things are happening.
Right. I like Shayna's little thing. You missed a flight and met the love of your life. I mean, you can't control that, right? Yeah. Are you going to focus? I mean, I guess you would.
Mail.
Yeah, you got mail. I mean, you could focus on it, and you don't know. And that's the thing, is taking lemons and making lemonade out of it type of thing, that comment that people make, right? I mean, because you can't control what life's going to throw at you. It's our reaction, right? And accepting that it's not going to be perfect, and accepting the imperfection and dealing with it in the best way possible is the only thing we really can do. I mean, we can plan, and those plans are going to get changed up to a certain point, and learning how to, as react or respond to how the plan has changed, and understanding that.
First of all, if life hands you lemons, make lemonade. That means you got to have some sugar in there someplace. And at that time, you're not thinking about that. Otherwise, you're making lemon juice. So I don't like that whole entire thing because.
All right, let's not go on semantics here, but you know what I'm saying.
That's not semantics. I'm just saying you get a fucking glass of vodka and squirt the lemon in there. I mean, you
Take
might
a
as well
bad
get,
situation and
might
make
as well
it
get
better.
drunk when you're pissed off.
Well,
That's what I'm saying. Don says I had a boss who for years would say, hey, control your controllables. I like it as it focused on what to do, not thinking about stuff you cannot control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing, understanding really what things that we actually do have control of, and working with what we have in front of us and not worrying about the things that we can't control, um, what really good does it do to us? If you can't control it, you can't do anything about it. Worrying about it is just wasting your time.
Eric, as long as that's New York style pizza. I like the thin crust New York style pizza. And I know I'm in the Chicagoland area and most people will chastise me, but I hate deep dish. I think it's gross. Give me thin crust any day.
You can control that. You can order deeper,
Yeah.
deeper.
Shannon says, if you can stay calm, you might see opportunity. Passionate response might be the new perspective you need. Yeah.
Interesting. Passion.
And Eric knows what's up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
As if we can control our controllables, Don says. Ha 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 ha. So
some, but very few and far between.
You brought this up obviously because you spend a lot of time focusing or worrying about obviously things that are out of your quote unquote control.
Yeah. Well, I don't spend a lot of time, but I noticed that I do spend some time, or in the past I spent a lot more, but I do notice that I do spend time thinking about.
I love you, DJ.
These things, because I'm trying to, me, I'm not a perfectionist, but I'm a perfectionist. So I try to eliminate all the variables or control all the variables, right?
DJ, are you laughing as hard as I am? I'm not a perfectionist. Fuck, you're not a perfectionist.
I said I'm close.
Jesus, cry it out loud. Are you kidding?
Well, and that's the thing. There's no such thing as perfect either. So I have to, really realize what I do have control of and what things make sense and what doesn't make sense, and when to say when. And it's been a tough battle for me because, like I said, okay, I do like things to be done right. I'm not going to say I'm a perfectionist, but I definitely like things to be done right, and I like them to be done the way I like to do things. Right. That's the problem for me, right? Like I like to no, don't do it that way. Do it this way. But you know what? If you're going to do it, just do it. And if it's not right, or I need it fixed, I'll take care of it. And that's for me letting go, right? Because my way is not always right. My way is probably wrong more than anything. But in my head, in my craziness, I feel that way.
I'm deciding what I should say without being stuck in the house with a cranky Scott.
Oh, you can say whatever you want. She's lucky. She's home today.
DJ, go on Facebook and make an alias and come in. You'll never know. Name yourself Joey or something.
Facebook user number 3.
That's right, Joey. How are you?
But do it through YouTube though. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. Because we're looking to pump that up, guys.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I think we walk around with an invisible backpack on all the time, and instead of letting things, Steve in dollars in Dallas. Yeah, hey Steve, that's right. In Dallas. I don't know why I'm trying to click it, but all right. It's not. I don't. There we go. Okay. But anyway, I think we walk around with a backpack on, and at the beginning of the day, the backpack's empty, and we have a choice of what to throw in there. Whether we throw stress, anxiety, good vibes, bad vibes, whatever the case may be. But the interesting thing is that those good vibes, those things that make you feel good, and those moments in the day that we sometimes glance over. So yesterday, and here's what I mean. Yesterday, my backpack was pretty heavy with a lot of negative. The college played a game. We were much, much better than the team that we played. We lost by 6. I was very, very upset. Very, very upset. Some of my upsetness was my daughter Lucy was playing in Cary Grove, a town over. They were supposed to play today, but because of Jerry, the snowstorm Jerry, they moved it to yesterday. So I pride myself, my wife and I pride ourselves in always being at our children's events. and no matter what their age are, right? Right.
That's in your control for the most part.
And so my game started at 5. Hers was to start at 6:30. So my backpack was pretty heavy because we lost the game we should have won. I was upset with myself. I was upset with my team. I was upset with the other coach because I love to win. There's no doubt about it, right?
I mean, why do you play? To have fun.
So there's a lot of goddamn it's fucks and sons of bitches in my backpack. It's pretty heavy, right? As I'm leaving, and my game, at the beginning of the day, I was like, listen, ladies, when we're up by 30, I mean, this is how much better we are than that team. When we're up by 30, I'm bouncing at 6:15, so I go to my daughter's game. Well, it was a close game. We lost by 6, so I didn't leave, right? So I'm upset with myself, number one, for putting it's a commitment, and you got to teach your kids that, that, hey, I committed this, and we were close. She's an athlete too. She plays basketball. She'll understand. So I start shoving into my backpack all these things that I'm mad about, and all these things that I'm trying to talk myself in the decision that I'm making at the moment is okay, right? And then the game's over at 6:30. So I'm like, I'm already late. By the time the game really gets over about 6:40. Ours does, right? Mm-hmm. It kind of goes. I'm like, man, I've already missed the first quarter. I'm getting upset. And then I got to talk to the team afterwards. So I talk to the team afterwards, and then the head coach comes in. He starts talking to the team. I just walk out. I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and listen to this sermon. We lost. I'm pissed. I walk out. My backpack's pretty heavy with a lot of negativity. And I get in my truck. I've got a nice big V8, and I get out on 14, and I jump on it. I'm pissed. Zoom, 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 right? Yeah. And I'm mad because I probably now missed the entire first half. Maybe it's into the third quarter. And now I'm even mad. My backpack's getting heavier. It's getting heavier because I'm getting more mad because I've let my daughter down. This is all stuff in my own mind.
I was going to say,
right? This is all stuff.
Right.
I just keep shoving this stuff in my backpack. My backpack keeps getting heavier. Do you know? And for people who live around here, if you've gone down Crystal Lake on 14, a lot of stoplights.
Ton, yeah. You hit everyone, didn't you?
All green.
Ooh.
I'm pissed. My backpack's heavy. And the stoplight fairies or whatever sprinkled dust.
That was the universe.
I have never in the 20, 30, almost 30 years that I've lived here, I have never gotten through Crystal Lake without stopping.
No, I don't think anybody has.
Not even slowing. I mean,
right, just straight through. That's weird,
right? So now all of a sudden my backpack starts getting a little lighter because I'm like, oh my god, this is, right. So my backpack starts getting a little lighter, and so I'm going, and then right in front of right before the Chick-fil-A there, right by the Squire.
Yeah,
we stop. There's no red light. There's no light. There was an accident. Everybody in our lane stopping to look at it. And I am like, deep breath.
Maybe that's why all the lights were green. You were following the ambulance.
Deep breath. No, I was like, deep breath, And then I look and I say, thank God that's not me. Right? And the backpack gets a little lighter.
Right. You looked at it from a different perspective.
And then get to 3 Oaks Road and 14, and a train comes, and I'm stuck there for like 3 minutes. Right. And now my backpack starts getting a little bit heavier again. Like, fuck. Now I'm going to miss the whole game. I'm pissed. So I pull in, and I go the wrong way in the parking lot. I'm like, mother. Right. As I'm hurrying, backpack starts getting a little heavier again. And as I'm parking,
the frustration,
and it takes me back to the back side of the gym. And as I'm parking, I see the teams running out. It's halftime. So I got there at the end of halftime. The door's locked. And I knock on the door, and one of the coaches lets me in. Right? So I get to watch the entire second half of the game. So I filled up my backpack with a lot of frustration and things I couldn't control.
Right.
I
was just going to
say, and it was very, very heavy.
Yeah.
It was very, very heavy.
Yeah.
And then of course I get there, and the smile on my daughter's face is like, fuck, you made it. Right.
Yeah.
It was like,
right.
Okay. backpack's a little bit lighter.
Right.
And you know, I'm sitting down. Let me take this backpack off, right, and just enjoy.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Of my daughter being able to be there.
You're able to refocus yourself.
I think that's a lot. What happens is we shove our back. It gets very heavy. That burden,
Right.
quote unquote burden or whatever. We continually probably put the wrong things in the backpack. Right. So as I'm going and the green lights are there, I've got to try to get rid of some of the negative instead of shoving good stuff into that backpack all day.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. The little, just, you had no control over it. Right. Yeah. But I'm going to say this, and you kind of took it kind of personally, right? You're like, damn it, why me? Fuck, you know, you couldn't do anything about it. So getting upset with it did nothing but cause your day to go more in a downward spiral, right? To have more negativity and to just feel shittier, right? My thing is why are we doing that? How can I set myself up to realize that, you know what, this being pissed off or reacting and trying to control something you can't control is causing my day to be shitty when it's not. It's really a good day, but I'm focusing on the wrong thing, right? We can all focus on the wrong things. And when things happen, we've talked about this before, it's not what happens to you in life. It's how we react, right? Or respond to it. Yeah. Because it does all come down to your mental, right? Like how you're going to view it. Right. I mean, so for you, oh, wow, I made all these green lights. Right. And then all of a sudden, boom, you can't control it, but you got pissed because you're going to miss your daughter's game. But in the big end picture of it, she was still super happy because the second you walked in, she was there. Right. Yeah. So all the worrying and all the stress that maybe it created filling up your backpack was completely unnecessary. Right. But I feel like we as humans, a majority of people, I could be wrong, I'm going to say just me, right? I do that shit to myself nonstop. But the good thing is I've been catching myself a lot more lately. And I find that my days end up in a much better, you know, I still have my ups and my downs, but I feel like my days are better and more enjoyable because I'm looking at things and I'm being realistic of what is worth my time worrying about and what's not. And when I try to look at like what you know, focusing to the, okay, well, actually I made it to halftime. It makes it better and going other than, you know, I had to wait for this guy that got in an accident. So, and I think we all do that to ourselves.
Yeah. So how do you not do it?
Right.
And because you said, don't focus on things you can't control. So
right. Well, it's coming down to the mindfulness that we talk about all the time, right? Oh, wait, I'm here. This is where I'm at. This is what's going on in front of me. This is what I can control, or, you know, this is the outcome that I want. Like your outcome, you wanted to get to your daughter's game, to watch the game before it was over.
No, I wanted to win. I wanted
but
to
you
win.
Have zero control over that.
Well, right. But I'm
even as the coach,
you know, you know, had we won, my backpack wouldn't have been so heavy.
Right. But even as a coach, I mean, and that's one thing I'm sure for coaches that's frustrating, right? You teach, you practice, you do all these things. But when it comes to the game, right, you can't control if they're executing properly. You can only have taught them. Yeah. And as a coach, I would imagine, I haven't coached in many years, it's frustrating knowing that your kids or your girls, right, have the skills to do it and they're just not executing it. So it will fill up your backpack a little bit. That's why I see some coaches get so pissed off on the sidelines because
to me in a sport, it all flows from the top. I mean, so it's just bad. It was bad coaching. I mean, there was adjustments and whatnot. I mean,
right, but you know what but you can't, if you taught them properly and they were executing, they should theoretically do better, but you can't control what they're doing. You didn't know what went on in their day. You don't know how full their backpacks are before they got to that game and why they're not executing.
Yeah.
I mean, especially young, I don't know how young kids, as a kid, I don't know how I thought. I don't think I thought much.
These are brilliant women that I get to work with. They're women who are going to change the world, which is exciting. And they you know, there's a few that you know, we work through things with them on a constant basis, but
and they're fortunate to have you because not a lot of coaches, at least of people I know, have the passion and the love, right, and the understanding of why you are a coach and what a coach is there for, right? So like a lot of coaches, what I see, it's them. They're there to control. They're there to tell you what to do, how to do it, right? Not help you execute things, right? And that's
Don says we all go to pity parties. We just want to learn to not live there. And it wasn't. I just, for me, in that moment, and I want people to understand that. Yeah, there you go.
Well, go up to the one Shayna hit, and I just, because it's so, go up a little bit. Shayna says, I don't know how the good moms let 5-year-olds put the ornaments on the tree and leave them as placed. Can't do it. Why? I mean, that's where they thought it was great. I mean, unless you're a perfectionist, right?
Well, but that's something that she can't control, right?
She can't control where they put it, but she can change it afterwards. But then,
she's saying not her 5-year-old. So when she goes to somebody's house, and the 5-year-old put 20 ornaments in one spot and they leave it there, she goes there and goes, right? Yeah. That's what I'm guessing. Right.
Well, that's why I'm reading. I'm kind of going, whatever. I mean, if the kid's having fun and they like what they did.
Well, that's
in the back of my head doesn't mean I'm not going, that looks crazy, but what's the real big outcome? The kid's happy. That's where they put it. They thought it looked good. Yeah, they're not going to be interior decorators.
You say that because you're a grandfather now, but when your kid was probably doing it, like, listen, put that on the other side. Come on, we can't put it all in one place.
No, I'd move it when they weren't looking. I was a typical, right? And that was me, and that's why I'm working on it. That's why the one thing I bring this up, because I really think back to life, as I've been growing up and raising the kids, that if I was able to relinquish a little bit more control and understand that a lot of these things are completely out of my control, it would have been a different energy around, for me. I don't know about the kids, because obviously I don't know what goes on in their head other than the talking that we have. But for me, it was always like, wanted to make bigger, better, faster, stronger, right? And I can show you how to do that because Dad's always right. Well, no, I'm not, right? And it's just one thing that, that I think more and more people could actually benefit from, understanding the actual lack of control of so many things that we have in our life. And if we focused on the things that we really actually do have control of, is pretty much just our person and how we respond and react with people. I mean, to me, that's huge.
No, that ain't just you. I do that too, Shayna. I do it in offices. I do it everywhere. What Shayna says might be a me thing, but I straighten the pics on your wall too. Nothing.
Oh yeah, no, that's
like this one right above me here. It's bothered me.
Which one?
All
the
morning.
Restoration
one?
Yeah,
the restoration one.
Oh, see, I always look at
It's just crooked, just a tad.
Yeah, just like the United States flag right over there, which you guys can't see. It's just a smidgen off, but.
Yeah, just a bit.
But I can control it. I can fix that, and it doesn't really affect anybody else, right? But why do I worry about it? I don't know. I can.
Don says, for me, I find myself in a bad place when something is in my control and I cannot figure it out. Have to step away and chill. Oh, that all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's frustration at the nth degree, right? I mean,
well, what I do. I have told myself my brain does not work like a microwave. Mine is a conventional oven. I got to let that shit warm up, right? I got to put it in there. You know what I mean? Those chicken nuggets are going to take all of 15 minutes instead of 2. You know what I mean? And I tell people, I'm like, listen, I hear what you're saying, but I got to let this thing cook in there for a while. I got to let it ruminate. I got to let it. So
you got to feel.
So I remind myself of that all the time. You want me to read this, Deidre?
You can go for it.
Deidre says, Scott was much better letting the kids make their own decisions when they were kids, and he knew he was around to help guide. And the kids got older, he tried to control more. There are times he will say, I'm going to have to talk to, enter kid's name, and tell them they have to do this.
Right.
So that's one of those things, again, kind of what she's saying is, that's some of the energy that you spend, saying,
right.
Hey,
well, because for me, and I don't know, I might be the only one, but for me, I'm the only one. I'm the smartest one in the world in my own mind, right? So why would you do it any other way than the way I would do it? And I don't know how that came about because it's totally wrong.
I will say, if you believe in past lives. Right, if you believe that your soul, there was a point in time at this point in your life where something happened in a past life. Right. This is what a lot of people say in a past life. Then that's why you're reliving it, or because you're trying to learn.
Yeah,
because you were on. So you can talk to Lisa or
Lana
about that.
Yeah. But I mean, she's not wrong. I mean, when they were kids, it was a little bit easier too because the lessons were easier, I guess. And you really didn't see them. I don't want to say going down a bad path because they're not going down bad path, but it was just like, let me show you. I've been there, right? Let me tell you how to do it instead of learning on your own, which is wrong.
And that's what Shane is saying. How about being able to fix, but knowing it's not your turn at bat?
Exactly. And that's the thing, is just letting them sit and go, all right, you know what? I'll be there when they fall.
Yeah.
Right. Because I've given them the good foundation, right, to work off of it. Yeah. I know that, but for whatever reason, I second guess myself and I try to control that. And it's the dumbest thing I could ever do. And I realized that.
So Dieter says, I think he knew he had ultimate control when they were a kid. As they grew, he has less control. And our good friend, Mr. Giles, he says, he's jumping in on Sally's, is the philosophy came from me. Now you know.
Hey, thanks, Dad. Appreciate you. Love you, buddy.
That's it. We'll send.
And that's okay. And that's okay because and that's so. I'm a product of my environment, right? So, but I've also understood that it's not doing me well. Also, with the help of my wife, telling me, setting me straight, going, "What are you, nuts?"
Lisa says in a couple of weeks she is going to be doing a show on past lives in 2 weeks and how the Rona situation set many people's old things off, causing issues.
Gotcha.
And that's of course this week. She's got a cool show with some paranormal stuff going on Sunday.
You guys got to check that out. Lisa's awesome.
It's going to be going.
Ooh, Shayna.
It's a weird combo of love and fear that drives controlling behavior.
That's I like a weird combo of love and fear.
So,
yeah, you love them so much, you want them to do right, but you also fear that if you don't push them, or you don't drive them right, that things could go sideways. And so it's not a completely false statement.
I would absolutely love to hear my kids take on it. To me, go ahead, fall down. I'll be here. If you call me, I'll be here. Right. Yesterday, my daughter calls me, Colette. She's like, "Oh my gosh, my windshield wiper just broke." Oh, what do you mean broke? Well, the thing came off. Oh, okay, but the windshield wipers still work. Yeah, but now it doesn't have a blade on it. Oh, okay. Well, here's
broke.
I go. Okay, so here's what you want to do: go to AutoZone, go to Meijer, go wherever that you can go to Walmart, whatever. Yeah, nice.
It was falling down on me.
Yeah, well, you kicked it. So anyway, I go get one. If you go to AutoZone, they may help you put it on if you don't know how.
Yep. Yeah.
I said, or get your boyfriend to do it. But here's what you want to do. You want to go do it right away because it's going to snow tomorrow.
Oh, and it's going to ruin your windshield.
And you want to have it on there, right? Now I didn't say, "Oh, let Daddy go do it. Let Dad put it on." No, this is shit you got to do, right? My son sends me a text about a situation with his house. Well, okay, send me pictures.
Right.
I can't tell you anything until I see what you're talking about. Send me pictures. Right. And now it's easy to talk through. But if he decides to do it or not. So I am very, like, when my kids move out, I communicate with them. Funny memes, texts, whatever, but not, "Hey, let me control your life." Now they may say differently, right? But I don't think that's me. Listen, my family, I got 3 older brothers, and we're kind of there's 2 in Iowa, there's 1 in Colorado, and me here in Illinois, and our families are totally different. My 3 brothers get together and go to concerts. My 3 brothers hang out often, right? I don't.
They don't like you.
No. When we get together, we have a great time. Right. I absolutely love them. But some of my brothers talk to my parents every week. I wish I had that discipline. I don't. Right?
Well, don't wish, just do it.
No. If
you want to talk to them every week, call them every week. That's in your control.
If I wanted to, I don't.
Oh, okay. The way you're saying is
because if I wanted to, I would.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
It's your choice.
Right. So to me, the way my kids, go ahead, fall down. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get in accidents. But guess what? Guess what happens? My daughter gets in an accident. She doesn't call her husband. Her husband was out of town. Who does she call? Her dad. Okay. Well, did you call the police? Did you do this? Walk this way. Dad, they're dead. Okay. Just
Well,
deep
you've probably
breath,
been
deep
through that
breath.
situation before.
Right. So I throughout their whole life, I'll pick you up and put a Band-Aid on. I'm not going to, you're going to fall down again. You're going to fall down again. That's just who I am. So when it comes to kids, right. Yeah. I'm with Lisa, right. I don't control my kids. They are way smarter than I am. And they have their own life. Right.
Right.
Let's see.
Well, so for me, it wasn't like to control, like what Deidre was saying, like some of the issues, and I get it. I mean, I look back at it, it definitely is not coming off and doing the way that I wanted to. But if I could teach them, right, how to avoid a problem, right, not control them to make them do, but teach them how to avoid that, because ultimately that potential, let's just say that potential problem could fall back on me. Your daughter not putting a windshield wiper on her car, it's going to scratch her window if she doesn't, right, or she can't see, gets in an accident. Ultimately, as a parent, you're going to help them out. Right. And it'll fall back on you in some way, shape, or form.
What do you mean fall back on me?
Well, you're going to have to fix her car if she doesn't have the money to fix it.
Oh,
right?
No, that's her car.
Okay. Well, and I get, but you know what I mean? You're educating her. Look, if you don't replace this, right, this is what's going to happen. And that's so it's an if then type of scenario that I would try to teach. And then for me, it was always upsetting or it was frustrating.
But no, I don't do that. I'm like, listen, you're going to want to get a
right. You're saying if you don't change it, it's going to snow tomorrow. Then you're not going to be able to see. You could get in that.
That's not at all what I said.
No, I'm saying how I'm reading what you're saying is if she doesn't get it.
No, I just like, listen, you're going to want it on there. Right. That's all. That's all.
You need it on there.
Not if she's not going anywhere. I don't know where her plans are, and it's not going to fall back on me. Right. If she ends up in a hospital, how does that?
Well, she's your kid.
So let's just draw it out then. If she ends up getting a wreck, dies because she didn't have a windshield wiper on, and that's what my child, she's 21 and she dies, I'm going to be sad. Right. Am I going to go, that's my fault, I should have changed the windshield wiper for her?
No.
Hell no.
No. So for me, I'm wanting to teach them or to help them understand if they don't do this, what's going to happen. And I get frustrated if they didn't do it because I couldn't control it. But I have to understand that just releasing control, they had the proper information. They chose not to use it. They reacted by not using it. So I have to realize that, yes, this sucks. I'm sad. Like in your case, if you did, I'm sad, but I couldn't do anything about it. I can't ruin myself thinking about it and worrying about it.
But that's where I say you and I are different. My kids, I'm like Lisa, my kids are intelligent, right?
My kids are,
And so I don't go, if you don't, you won't see, this will happen, you'll scratch, and now I've got to fix it. I don't run through that scenario through my head. I'm like, listen, you got to do it today. Don't put it off because tomorrow a blizzard's coming, right? Yeah. That's all I said. It's up to her. If she decides not to, that's her life. That's her decision.
It is. Absolutely.
Right?
It's absolutely.
But I don't try to help them see an outcome that's not there because I don't care.
Yeah, and that's so for me, and that's where I will kind of give a scenario. Hey, if you don't do this, this could potentially happen, and this is why I'm kind of being a pain in your ass. And I get it. I do get it. I've taught them, and my kids are brilliant. They know what to do and things. But
so you are what we would that helicopter parent or whatever. And your kids are adults now. They're brilliant. They've got lives. They've got children. But you're still that helicopter parent saying, "Oh, let me make sure that pillow's underneath you for when you fall. I want it to be soft, right?" And that's okay. That's who you are, and that's okay, right? That's why I say. But there's a piece in there that frustrates you a little bit. That's why we're talking about this.
Right.
That says, "Fuck, I wish I could not do that."
Right.
Maybe.
Well, I wish. Oh, absolutely. I mean, why do I want to waste mental energy on things I can't control? Right. But for me, like the things we're talking with our kids, right? For me, I just want to know that I gave them the proper information, how they use it. Right. Hopefully they'll use it properly. And if they don't, sometimes it makes me feel like maybe I didn't do my job teaching them right.
So
or explaining it to them.
Let's take my scenario. What did I not give her the proper information?
Well, you just told she needs to you're going to need it, right? Right. You're going to need it. And so for me, that is proper information. But how I take it a step further is I'm going to say the consequences.
Why go the step further?
I don't know why. I really don't know why. I've thought about that over the time, and I think it's because
Because if
I like to know,
Yeah.
like have options, I guess, you know, like what's really going to happen. So do I really have to pay attention to that? Or, you know what, this is really super important. It's like, hey, you need to get your brakes fixed. Well, why? Well, because if your brakes don't work, you're going to get in an accident, right?
Yeah.
Explaining things a little bit deeper than like, because I used to, you know, at some points I would get so pissed just because I said so, right? I don't want that point. I want them to be able to make an educated decision, right? So they can, well, hopefully not get hurt. But if I give them the right information and they don't make the right decision, yeah, it sucks. I'm gonna question myself, but at least I know in my heart that I gave them the proper information to sort through. So
Shayna, I probably ID as an extroverted introvert, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
There.
I enjoy quiet time, but
I
prefer to share my life with people and be around people and enjoy other people's company and talk like this.
And what I mean by that is, you know, if I roll into a room, I don't know a lot of people there, I'm pretty quiet. And I survey the room, I get a read for the room, and then I can be an extrovert. If it's people that I know, like, and trust, I'm pretty extroverted. But yeah, it's probably how I would say that.
Well, you know what? Right? Actually, I think you know it's cautious. It's like you said, reading the room, understanding. You know, what, when, why, and how.
Lisa, great points. Is many people control others because if they follow, it's validation that they are right or doing it right. And then they're seen for it.
So right, but so let a lot of, and that's so what she says. There's a lot of people like to control other people, and here's one of the reasons, right? So because they can't control themselves.
Yeah.
Right. And then I was a prime example of that. Right. I was trying to control other people to do these things because I myself was not able to control myself. So if I can't do it myself, I'm going to control you because I'm at least going to feel better about that. And I don't think that's uncommon. Yeah. Right. I mean, I know in my personal experience and people in my circle, it's not uncommon, but it's also one of those things that's kind of like, you have to really look at why you are trying to control a situation. Sometimes it's because you can't control yourself. Other times it is pure and simply because of your pure love and desire for that other person not to have these consequences happen to them because you've seen it happen.
Yeah. And Bob, I appreciate that. You know, call them while they're still quote unquote here. Unfortunately, there will be a day when they won't be able to. It's not that I don't, right? I don't do it as often as a couple of my brothers would do, right? And that's okay. When we chat, it's meaningful, you know, it's meaningful conversation. And I believe that I'm, you know, living the life that they raised me to live. Right. So it's not that I don't, you know, and that's just relationships. Right. We have a very strong relationship that way. So, you know, if I take a look again, my folks are, 3.5 hours away. Yours are 20 minutes away. Right. Your kid, one lives with you, one's 5 minutes away. So you're
very fortunate.
You say that's fortunate. I go too damn close. That's what I say, right? But that's your family, right?
Right.
So for me, right? My 21-year-old daughter, she lives 6 blocks away. Okay, how many times do I talk to her in the course of a week? None, unless she calls or I call, or we bump into each other at the college, whatever the case may be. And again, that's your family dynamic, right? Right. I've always told my kids, you got to get away. You got to get out. If you don't get out, you never grow up. That's what I've told my kids. Yeah. Right. You got, even if you go away for 4 years of college, you come back, you've gotten away. Right. You have to get, because I can walk into my hometown where I graduated high school into a certain bar and see the same 6 people sitting there that sat there for the last 32 years. Yeah, or more.
No, you are so right with that.
And then they still say the same stupid jokes, and you know, and I'm like, you got to get out of here, right? So that's what they decided to do. Now, do I agree with my 21-year-old? She's I always say she's playing house with her boyfriend, whatever. She's going through it. Hey, she's 21. She do what she want to do, right? I just keep saying I don't want to be a grandfather for your kid yet, right?
Right.
That's it. I will be happy if it happens, but I'll just let you know you're chasing your dream, and a child is not that you're playing house. I get it. Right.
But,
yeah.
And it's right.
Yeah.
Something you can't control, but you think about it. I mean, you can't say you don't think about that, right? Yeah. I mean, because it would change life. It would change things. you know, and you can't control it, but it's going to change your life.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
it can change your life if you're going to allow it to.
Yeah.
So
Don says we've switched from directing our kids to giving advice to them as they grow up.
Yeah.
The blanket episode.
Right. And the advice thing, right? The advice thing, I like it. And that's how it comes off is, hey, my advice, instead of like, my big thing is you should do, right? When my son went away to school, he definitely came back a different and a better person because he had to function on his own. He had to make these decisions that, you know, he had control over and had to realize the things he didn't have control over. Because, you know, there were times he'd call me just frustrated out of his mind. I'm like, what are you doing? You can't control it. I get it's frustrating. I'd be just as pissed off as you, but you can't control it. Just let it go. Yeah. Right. And so that helped a lot there.
Yeah. So Shana says, I've also weighed in on a fashion choice with no real consequence if you didn't. And she's talking about the blanket episode where I told my 14-year-old, no, you wear a coat. We're not homeless. Right. Now, again, a 14-year-old is a lot different than a grown, you know, I got three grown adults. And guess what?
One close.
She, unless she's at the hospital and it's HIPAA, she don't make her decisions, right? I mean, we give her a lot of space, and she's a great kid. She's got great energy. She's an incredible leader for a 14-year-old kid. But you know,
house rules are house rules.
If I'm sending you out of my house, you listen. You're wearing the Jones name.
You represent. Yeah.
You know.
But you know, and that's fine. I mean, you say,
and again, it's different. We're talking grown kids.
Well, right, but I mean, so and that's a control issue. So you know, and right, wrong, or indifferent, some people would be like, now you're stunting how they feel. But,
right. So that's what Lisa's saying. We're taking the growth away from someone. We screwed up, and it's how we learned, and it's what's being preached. I give details of why only when asked. I find that they feel comfortable asking when they know it's not a lecture. Yeah.
So, and that's a good one there, because I don't intend, but a lot of my stuff, I guess, comes off as a lecture when it's not. It's pure and simply everything out of love. Yeah. Because of who I am and what I've been through in my life and what I've been able to survive to be to the point where I'm at right now. Yeah. I feel honored. I feel blessed to be able to share that information with people, right? To help them make a good decision or realize that, you know what, you can't make a decision because you have no control of that. Yeah. And this is what I've been through. And so for me, it's a little frustrating when, I feel like it's not being heeded, that they don't, it feels like maybe they're not listening to it, right? Like it's their eyes glaze over. And I get it, because I do come off as a lecturer, and I don't know why. And it sucks because I don't know, or like I said, I don't know why it sucks.
Just because everybody close to you goes, oh God, here comes the Scott talk.
Here comes the Scott talk. Yeah. Right. And it's, dude, and that's the thing. I'll probably never change because I'm 56 years old. I'm trying.
Don't say that.
But I
speak to yourself differently.
Right. But everything for me, it comes from in here, right? It comes from so deep down inside that I really do care. And I don't mean to lecture. I just want people to have the knowledge that I have and understand what I've been through and be able to choose if what I'm giving them is good for them or not.
You are literally held together with bubble gum and Band-Aids. You've got more scars, had more stitches, had more stuff, right? You are who you are because of how you learned. And if you think that you're a good person, why don't you want other people to learn that way?
Well, right. That's kind of it, right? I mean, I know I'm a good person, right? Yes, have I fucked up? Oh my God. You have no, we could talk for months.
Morning,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right, no.
Yeah. Coming home. But, snow day. Afternoon delight. So, but for me, it's, I relish in the fact that I have been through, I've survived what I've been through, right? And that that I can share with people things that I've learned that have helped me get along, that kind of like some people in my life help share and help me to get along with, because for me, that's important, is to help people through life.
So you need to, in 2024, I'm just going to tell you what you need to do, because I'm a good friend and I'm right.
He's always right. I mean, fucking Ken Jones.
Here's the deal. The difference is you're not a good storyteller. And
I'm not.
And here's what I mean.
I'm not.
And here's what I mean by that. You are you are the instruction manual, and nobody
Dry and
likes.
boring.
Yes, nobody likes instruction manuals. You're like, listen, to your point. Listen, here's what's going to happen. If you don't, then you scratch the windshield, and to scratch the windshield, it can crack. You crack, you die. Right.
Right.
You go through the instruction manual. Nobody likes reading instruction manuals. Uncle Pete was the only person I know who, for fun, would read the dictionary.
Yeah,
So he
I know a
probably,
couple people,
and that's
like
why
that.
you guys probably got along so good, because he's like, yeah, he's a dictionary. He's that, right?
Yeah.
And if you learn storytelling, people would be going, they would learn, right? Like Aesop's fable. There's an
Right.
end to this story and then they go, oh, that was, whatever.
And that's
they
in my
take it. They take it.
And that's in my
Um,
control, right?
yeah.
I can learn how to do that because then it would make it more interesting.
So Lisa says, with my youngest, I have said, your dad and I made these same mistakes. When you are ready to change it. I am happy to talk to you. She's still making the mistakes. All my preaching would do is push her away or make her afraid to ask when she is ready when she is ready to change course.
Yeah, she emphasized that one quite a bit.
That's a whole topic for a show. What defines a good person?
Ooh, there you go.
Well,
that's what that could actually do an entire series.
Probably Wikipedia. End of show. All right, Toby, what's up, brother? I tell my athletes to plan their race and race your plan. If they can do that, no matter where they finish in a race, they will be successful. They don't have to win. They just have to execute the plan. If you can approach daily life the same way, we take control over things we can affect control over, and the rest of the static noise doesn't matter.
That's beautiful.
Right?
I love that. And that the thing is figuring out what the static noise, what's the static noise that you have no control over, right?
Plan your day.
Right. Plan your work and work your plan.
Right.
And understand that your plan is going to get some knives or some wrenches thrown in.
But you love to say, but let me give you the instruction manual for today.
I don't.
Here comes a Scott talk, right?
I don't do it that way. But when like not for the day, but when it comes down to frustrating things like the windshield, right? I'll explain to them instead of, hey, you just need to get that fixed, or it's going to be a problem. For me, I try to explain why.
Yeah,
right?
well, they don't.
And I don't.
People don't want the instruction manual.
Well, and that's exactly it. And that's why I don't and that's why I have to get inside me, because for me as a person, I want to understand the why. I always have as a kid, and that's part of the reason that I'm always questioning things. Why? I don't know. Maybe because I didn't get any of that as a kid. I don't know. I'm really trying to figure that out. But for me, I always like to know the reasons why. Does it really matter in the big picture of things to most people? No. And for me, probably not, but I do. And I'm trying to get past that point because I can't control it. And you know what? It doesn't matter why it was realistically, because it's already done and it's over with. Unless it's directly affecting me and I can change it, I'm just having to put that on the back burner and learn from it.
Don says we get instruction manuals for just about everything. Then you have your first kid and they send you home.
Yeah, that's right.
Good luck.
No manuals. Thank you.
If they don't listen, they will figure out why. Pay the consequences and not repeat. Right. Toby said that a couple weeks ago, right? I make mistakes every day. I just try not to make the same one the next day.
Right.
Right. When especially with athletes, if you work with athletes, or if you work with employees, you have employees or whatever, if you continually hit them with the instruction manual on what might happen way down the road, they get very hesitant and afraid to do anything because I don't want to die in a wreck because my windshield was scratched. Right. So I just parked my car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there definitely could be a negative connotation to how you say
so
something.
It's like, listen, make as many mistakes as you can. I don't care. Fall forward, get up. Fall forward, get up. Right. And the bottom line is people can get analysis paralysis, and maybe that's what you give a lot of people is analysis. Oh my God, right? Hey, I noticed that you missed the entire week of work. Why is that? There was snow on the ground. My dad said, with snow on the ground, I got to do, and then this, but you got to watch for everybody. So I didn't want to go out in the snow because Lord knows a semi was going to run me over. What? How is a semi going to run you over? It's just,
it's snowing. That could happen.
It's just what happens.
Right,
my
right,
dad,
right. And that's how you, you could extrapolate that right out, like looking at starting from start to finish. Right. And I get that. And so,
all right, Don, be safe down there. Yep. Put some hay bales around it, whatever you guys do in Dallas to not get the pipes frozen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't believe it's that freaking
Thanks for joining us, brother.
Can't believe it's that cold there. Yeah. Thanks for joining, bud. Have a great weekend. Appreciate you much. So, yeah, for me, it's every day. It's understanding that people don't necessarily want to hear my lecture, right? Because but I try to preface with, I'm not trying to, not trying to say you're doing it wrong. This is just, in my experience, what I've seen happen, and it comes across. So my thing for 2024, I like that, is learning to become a better storyteller, because I feel like I have a lot to offer.
Well, you got a lot of stories,
right? But not having people's eyes glaze over on it, right, is important, because I mean, I learned where I'm at right now from, well, obviously getting my ass handed to me many times, but also from other people telling me, and then I was able to, take what information out of that conversation I needed. So I'm a work in progress, people, as we all are.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you more than you'll ever know.
I bought my daughter her first car, Lisa says, lectured her on maintenance, all oil changes, etc., blah, blah, blah. She took it lightly and blew the engine. She then made payments. Now, 7 years later, she is still and retentive on maintenance, and will always be.
That's because she learned. She realized what the outcome, what the real, what was going to happen if she didn't take care of it. Right? You gave her the right information. She didn't choose it, and it cost her probably a boatload of cash, right?
Could be.
And for me, and I think that's one of the things, and I know we're getting here at the end of the hour, is I teach them, because I don't want people to make the same mistakes I do. I want you to make the next bigger mistake, right? I've already failed at that point. This is the mistake I've made.
But you paralyze them. Why? So I can't go do it. I can't make that bigger mistake because, oh my gosh, if the windshield's going to scratch and I'm going to run into a tree.
Right. And I mean, I do try to preface it, the key word here, right? That not to make it a bad thing. Like, look, hey, I did the same damn thing. I made the same mistake. Here's what I did. Let's get you the next mistake. I don't say get you, but so.
Yeah.
And in a lot of respects, I probably do need to curb that, and I'm getting better with it. Like I say, I'm a work in progress. But without this show and without people like you, we don't learn these things, right? Because I think deep down inside, we're all very, very similar. It's just a lot of people just don't want to talk about it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in with us today. Go out there, enjoy the snow.
Yeah. So
play in the snow.
This is what Lisa says. But Scott, would you have let your kid let it go? Or would you go, oh my gosh, we got to change that oil. I'm going to go change the oil.
No, I wouldn't, because I would be the one that would have to pay to fix the car. Right. And now my son and daughter are very anal about it.
Why would you have to pay to fix the car?
Well, in my thought process, right? Because so if my son doesn't have a car, right, he blows his car up, he's got to get to work. Yes, it's up to him to get to work. But as a parent, because I want him to survive, right, I'm going to do the wrong thing, I know, in your mind, and I'm going to drive him to work. But it's not without consequences if he did do that, right? So, like, I have never had to do that, thank God. But yeah, I get what she's saying. I taught him, I gave him the tools and the information to use it. He chose to use it. Your daughter didn't. She got her response, right? And it sucks. So each parent is a little bit different. And I'm trying to limit the amount of horrible things that happen to the kids, or at least teach them up front.
You can't wrap your kids in bubble wrap.
No, they're not. Trust me, they're not wrapped in bubble wrap. But I definitely have given them, I feel,
maybe not as kids, but maybe as adults they are.
I
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Right. I mean, it's a good one. I'm going to have to research that one a little bit more, think about it a little bit, because I try not to, right? Like I try to let them, because I know that we raised them right. Like when they were kids, right? We saved our nose for what really mattered.
But Lisa says, but you said you would pay for the problem. They have no fear of consequences besides a lecture.
Oh, that's not true. That's not true. I pay to get it fixed so they can get it. And there were consequences, and we can talk about that all day long. But for me to fix the car so they can continue their life and I can continue my life properly, not having to worry about them not being able to support themselves,
and that's where I'm different, right? My kids get their license, and my wife's up at night or whatever, worried about accidents, whatever. I sleep like a baby. I pray to God. That's who I am. I pray to God and just say, keep them safe, and it is what it is. And every day that I go to bed, and my kids, I'm fortunate. My kids are still alive. I haven't lost one. Very, very fortunate, right? But I don't waste time worrying about what they're doing out there, right? New Year's Eve comes around. Absolutely. I still send out a message to all my kids, even adults. Remember, nothing good happens after midnight. There's a lot of drunk people out tonight. Be smart. That's it. Right. They're going to make their choices. They're going to make their decisions. And I've got to let them do that. And I'm not saying that that's right. That is how I have parented. That's who I am. Right.
That's who you are. Right. And that, and you've thought about this
before. But
before.
My wife won't sleep.
Right.
She hasn't slept for 29 years, almost 30 years, because Spence will be 30. Right. And we've had, and I'll guarantee you, once Lucy starts driving, that she's going to feel the same way.
And that sucks too. Right. Because think about that. It's her life I don't want to say her life has been altered because she can't,
I don't know that.
Control, because she can't stop worrying about things she can't control. I'm just saying.
No, I don't.
You don't know what goes through her head unless she tells you. But
I didn't write her life. Right. In the great book of life, I don't know. So you say that sucks for her. I don't know that it does. She doesn't walk around going, well, my life sucks because I can't sleep. She just doesn't say that. Now she's got menopause and she can't sleep. She's hot. She's cold. That shit happens to women. And for women, I apologize about that. Right. I mean, that's horrible. But and it may go on for years. I don't know. That bothers her. Right. I mean, because she gets irritated with it. Right. But I don't, if I look at her, she's got a great life. Yeah. She's beautiful. She's healthy. She's got a good job. She's got friends. Man, the only thing I feel sorry for is she got stuck with me. Right. I mean,
stop talking to yourself
honestly,
like that,
right?
dude. You talk about me doing that. You do it to yourself all the time.
She could have done a lot better.
No bullshit. You're bullshit. You're a good person, man.
But you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
You went, man, her life doesn't suck.
I didn't say it sucked. I said that's got to suck though, because and I get it. I mean, it's a parent, right? I get it. But it's, if you're not sleeping and stuff and you're worrying constantly about things you can't control, it's frustrating, because I do worry about that. For something like that.
It's frustrating for you.
It's frustrating. And it's frustrating for me when I worry about stuff I can't control. So I couldn't imagine, say not being able to sleep because of that. That has a direct impact on her life, which will impact everyone else's life, right? Because if you're not sleeping well, you might not be as healthy as you think. You might not be as happy as you think. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I know Alice the way I know Alice, but you know what I'm saying? There's different factors that could come from stuff like that.
I can't feel sorry for her.
You can't, because she's choosing it. You can't control it.
Right. This is who she is. She's a beautiful, strong woman. She's a wonderful woman. This is a lady who is not afraid to get her hands dirty doing anything. Right. I mean, she's good. Right. And I'm blessed that way. But if she was sitting in the corner rocking, and then I might feel sorry for her and try to get her help, but it doesn't suck for her. I can't see. My problem is I can't jump into your head going, boy, that sucks for Scott. That sucks. I'm not. You have your life path. I have this. Dave Chappelle. Have you seen?
I just watched that last one. I love that. Living someone else's dream.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just watched it, and I get it.
You have to be humble enough to go, am I in somebody else's dream, or are they in mine? Right? Am I living my dream, or am I humble enough to go, whoa, I'm in Scott's dream right now? And that's cool.
That one actually
that's
hit
cool.
Me. Yeah, that one actually hit me pretty good.
And so and that's how I have always lived my life. Is like I have always been blessed, right? To be on somebody's path for a certain amount of time. That's the truth, right? And go, oh man, I'm blessed, right? I don't know why you and I are buddies and as close as we are, and I don't care. It is what it is, right? Now, again, like I said, You move to the mountains of Colorado. We're probably still going to be buddies, but I ain't going to talk to you every day or every week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
totally get it.
Right.
Right.
And then I can say, man, I was blessed to be on that path. Right. And then I'll be like, oh, cool. I'm blessed to have a place to stay other than my brothers when I go out to Colorado.
Right. Right. But yeah, no, I mean, and that actually, when he made that comment, we're running way over, but when he made that comment, it really, to me, I was like, holy shit. Like, am I living in someone else's dream, or am I in my own dream and everyone's coming along?
Yeah. Yeah.
It really, so for me, I thought about that, and it's actually ringing in my head still.
Yeah.
Because it's like, am I living the American dream because that's what we were taught, or am I living the way I wanted to be, or is my dream changed over time? Of course it's changed, because that's just the way things happen. You adapt and overcome. But yeah, that was if you haven't seen it, Dave Chappelle's awesome anyway, but just watch the show. He just talks about a lot of good things on that. And it actually, what's funny is it kind of comes down to a control. He was talking about what, your life and what's going on, and what life are you in? What are you living? What can you do? What can't you do? So check him out.
Yeah.
And enjoy. Guys, we really appreciate you stopping in every Friday morning to look at, hang out, and listen to, as Kent would call us, two idiots.
Yeah.
But, just two guys really wanting to talk about life and what's going on in our life. And hopefully we can help some people out there one day at a time, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's a game. I mean, life is a game. We play it hard.
That's what the ground's all about. Two guys, a bunch of friends having coffee, talking about weird shit. And that's cool. And and we appreciate it. I mean, what else are you going to do in a blizzard?
Go home and make snowmen.
That's why we run a little bit over. And just so everybody knows, the rest of the day is I don't think there's going to be a live show coming.
Nobody has the balls like us to get out in this stuff.
So I knew that you'd be here. I wasn't going to miss it. I mean,
hell no, I wouldn't miss this unless I absolutely
put that truck in 4 high and let's go to work. That's what I do. Everybody, please be safe. Listen, the other thing that I would say is two things that are on my mind about this storm. If you're in Northern Illinois or you're getting beat down with this blizzard, is number one, if you have Uber Eats or somebody delivers some shit to your house, you better tip the shit out of those people today, because
they make their living.
They're doing what you were afraid to do. So tip heavy for those people who are helping you out. And number two is be smart and check on friends and neighbors. This is wet, heavy snow. There may be power outages. There may be lines down. And just be smart. But think about the other people and lend a hand where you can and
shovel your neighbor's driveway if they're older or whatever. But
get
and you know what?
Out.
If you're fortunate enough today to be home because your school got canceled, or work got canceled, or you can work from home, take some time. People, go outside and just really enjoy the snow. I mean, the actual beauty of it, and just the quietness and the calmness of snow-covered area. To me, obviously, I know I'm different than a lot, but it's just gorgeous.
It's like a painting.
Go appreciate it.
It's like a painting out there today.
Go appreciate it. Enjoy it. It's here. We're in the Midwest. Have fun with it. You can't control getting snow, so you might as well adapt to it. Heck, I feel like I want to go tobogganing today. I mean, maybe I'll do that. You want to go tobogganing?
No.
That was an easy one. Toboggan. Well, I'm going. Skiing Sunday.
You know what I wouldn't mind doing is maybe the inner tube run over there at Wilmot. Don't they have like an inner tube slide thing?
Yeah, they got a complete mountain on the side. Yeah, it's not cheap though, man.
I know. Cheap. Yeah, I know.
We could do that. We could go do it at the. I got a bunch of tubes. We can go take it to the local tobogganing hill. Dude.
That was a hard sentence for you.
Yeah, I know it was. I was trying to get that word out. Well, we could go skitching too.
Hey, I don't.
That's a good day for that. You got the cowboy boots.
I'll go get the cowboy boots, and we'll go skitching all day. You drive, I'll drive. Let's have fun.
I sent you that picture, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, people don't listen to us. We're crazy, but go out and enjoy the snow. Really enjoy it, right? I mean, we don't get too many of these days anymore. It's just so weird. But enjoy it. Thanks, guys. I love you all. Appreciate you tuning in. Go out there and be the change you want to see in the world. Thank you.